Meanwhile, at the Summers house on the moon...
Jean Grey, this feels weird. What are we doing with all of these dead bodies?
Oh my god, Polaris, just shut up. I mean, ever since we were able to, combine our powers, where you, use your magnetic stuff to be an MRI, and I use my psychic abilities, we can read the minds of dead people. And so, since I didn't really have a childhood, since Xavier kidnapped me and my parents died, I want to have a sleepover. And instead of a Ouija board, we're going to read actual dead bodies.
But I cannot believe we exhumed the corpses of these dead celebrities.
Oh my god, they're humans. We're mutants. It doesn't even count, okay? Who cares about humans? Right. All right, so anyway, here, I'm going to take a look who I got first. Are you ready? Look who it is. It's... I know it's decomposed, so it's hard to tell. It's Little Richard. All right, you ready? Let's use our powers. Let's get into his mind.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh, Little Richard, I love you. What's going on? What's the afterlife like?
Oh, the afterlife's great. You know, my secret was that I was gay. Lord!
Oh, well, that really wasn't that much of a secret. Okay, he doesn't have anything interesting to give. Okay, bye. Okay, all right. That was kind of obvious.
I'm cold.
All right, are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
Here he is. This one you can probably tell because it hasn't been that long. Oh, it's Alex Trebek.
Oh, I love Jeopardy.
All right, here we go. Can you hear me, Alex Trebek?
What is yes?
Okay, I really need to know, who do you want to be your replacement host? Because I think they're just going to pick, some white person.
Who is LeVar Burton, damn it?
Oh my god, I knew it! Thank you, Alex. Final answer.
Mike Richards.
Here
Gene,
is...
you know Final Answer is not that game show.
Oh wait, what was that guy? Regis Philbin. Well look, he's here too. Regis Philbin. Okay, let's go in his mind.
Whee!
Whoa, hey, how's it going? It's me, Regis Philbin.
Hey, Reg.
I want you to tell that bitch, Kathy Lee Gifford, that she can suck it.
I have it on good authority that Hoda Kotb tells her that every day.
Oh, lesbians. All right, that's enough. Oh my god.
What?
Okay, and I have one more. Are you ready? Look who it is. It's Jennifer Tilly.
It's Jennifer Tilly.
What is going? I'm not dead. I'm Jennifer Tilly's charmed Jennifer Tilly. I'm not dead.
But we haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, I'm a poker player now. Oh, no one cares about that.
What?
No one cares. All right, here, just throw her through the goddamn gate. Here, can you take all these bodies back? Bye.
What? Bye.
All right, now, what's the next thing you do at sleepovers? How about we take Rachel Summers' bra and put it in the freezer?
Let's do it.
Yay!
Yay!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comic Book Queers, the CBQ Legacy. This is episode 190, and I'm your host, EvilJeff. And with me is our other host, Britt.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Thank you for listening.
Oh my god, things are crazy right now.
They are?
Yeah, I mean, fucking Jean Grey and Polaris can read the minds of dead people.
Listen, this new X-Men team, they just be working together, and we love to see it. And we'll talk about it in a little bit.
But first, I think we need to get some What Are You Gonna Hit?
Oh!
Hot topics.
Yay, hot topics. What's in the news, EvilJeff?
Okay, here's the deal. And it's so kind of crazy. Back in around, I'd say 2009-ish, my favorite comic of all time was Y the Last Man. I even bought the trades of all of it, and then I dated someone who borrowed them, also loved it, and then when we broke up, said he didn't know where they were anymore.
They disappeared like so many men.
Yes, exactly. And Why the Last Man from the brilliant Brian K. Vaughan, they kept on saying it's going to be a movie, it's going to be a TV show, it's going to be a movie, it's going to be a TV show. And finally, a couple years ago, they're like, no, it's going to be a TV show. And we finally got the trailer. It's coming out in like a month.
It looks incredible. It's going to be on Hulu, possibly FX as well. I'm not sure. But FX on Hulu it's a whole little imprint, and it's wonderful. It's the currently American Horror Stories, which I'm sure is your favorite show, is on there.
No.
They're going to add Why the Last Man. But I'm confused by the casting. I have to tell you that I thought a long time ago, I read that Barry Keoghan was going to play Yorick.
Who's that?
Barry Keoghan, who's playing Druig in the upcoming Eternals film.
Right.
The only other thing I know him from is Dunkirk. He's the boy that hits his head on the boat and then dies at the end.
I did not see Dunkirk.
Oh, you should see Dunkirk. It's very good.
Okay. Who directed it?
Yeah.
Someone famous, right?
Yeah, Nolan.
Nolan, right.
Sam Mendes? No, Nolan.
No, I think it's Nolan.
Anyway, it's not Barry Keoghan. It's this actor who I don't know who it is, but he looks wonderful and ripe for Yorick.
Oh, Yorick.
Because Yorick's kind of a loser.
Yeah. A loser with a loser pet monkey.
Ampersand, possibly the thing that got me the most excited when I watched the trailer for Why was seeing Ampersand.
Yeah, it's just going to be pretty. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle it. Because I have such high expectations for this show that it's going to be very easily to piss me off.
Yeah. Luckily, Diane Ladd is
Could be the
the
president.
president. Yeah. And I'm not sure who plays Agent 355, but she looks wonderful.
Yeah. I also
That
will
to
say,
me is going to like make or break Agent
but
355.
that's the other thing though, is because I don't have the trades, I really never like, usually if I have the trades of stuff, I like every few years, I'm like, oh, I'm going to reread this. I haven't reread it in like 12 years. So my mind, and part of me is like, should I reread it or should I watch it fresh? What do you think's better, Brett?
I think you should reread it right before it starts. You know, like be one step ahead of it.
Yeah. You're
You
right.
know,
Okay.
like read it alongside, but be one step ahead.
Yeah. Ah, I can't wait for it. I can't wait.
I can't wait. I would like, I remember when I did read the original run, I wound up skipping through a little bit of the Amazon stuff in like the early middle.
Oh, when it's his sister, right?
Yeah.
Who becomes the
yeah.
Amazon? Yeah, yeah, there's some parts that drag a little bit, but once it kind of picks up towards the end, then it's like, ooh.
Yes, it really does pick up.
And it has an amazing ending.
An amazing
I
last
don't wanna,
page.
like-
One of the best last pages of a comic book run ever.
Because it's also kind of like, I love this because basically, if you're like, what is this show about? It's just called, We Don't Need No Man, No
We
How.
don't need men.
Ever.
Right. Another thing I'm excited for is the scene where all the men die.
Well, of course, that's kind of the big
It's
amazing
iconic.
thing. Well, that's in the comic. It opens up with just these statistics where it's like 95% of all pilots are men. 90% of this are men. It's just showing you like just these statistics of like what would happen if they disappeared. All of that, planes would start raining down from the sky. Like it's just insane of all the things that would happen if men instantly died.
Ugh.
Crazy.
So that's exciting. In other news,
Yes.
also exciting, we are leading up to Inferno, the big story being told in the X-Men books. A story that harkens back to our favorite crossover ever from the late 80s, early 90s, late 80s, Inferno. That one was about demons. This one seems to be about maybe a fall of Krakoa, maybe the deceit happening in so many leadership circles on Krakoa.
Yeah.
Secrets coming out, and those secrets destroying this utopian society they've got going on.
And the thing that's amazing is they're doing the exact same ads as the
house ads.
original Inferno ads.
And you and I were both obsessed with those triptych, 3-character, mysterious teaser ads for the original Inferno. These have been recreated, and there are 3 that I've seen. There's one, and it's all about trust. It's all about not being able to be trusted. So we've got one that stars or features Mystique, Destiny, and Moira saying that our enemies cannot be trusted. We've got one that raises a lot of eyebrows, features Colossus, Psylocke, and Bishop saying our allies cannot be trusted. And then we've got one that I've seen a lot of people on X Twitter up in arms about, featuring Xavier, Magneto, and one Emma Frost, saying our leaders cannot be trusted.
What, up in arms in what way?
Up in arms saying, the hell she can't. Don't lump Emma Frost in with Xavier.
Oh, but here, no, but if you look, no, but I think
she can be trusted.
No, but this is what I think. If you notice who's in these, I think in these it's people pitted against each other, like Mystique, Moira, and Destiny. Like they're against each other, and she's in the middle. Isn't Emma in the middle? I think Emma is the one saying our leaders can't be trusted. I think I think them in the triptych is Emma the one like busting them. I think that's what they're
and
there
perhaps
for.
Moira is saying Mystique and Destiny cannot be trusted.
Exactly.
And maybe then, even by that logic, Quanin, Psylocke is saying Colossus and Bishop cannot be trusted. Could you imagine?
Or they could be saying that she can't be trusted because she's on Sinister's down low.
Yeah.
But not for long after the Hellions episode, which we will get to.
We will talk about that soon. But so exciting to see these Triptych House ads come back.
So good.
Up to...
I mean, when this starts, I mean, literally the first like episode of this when we're recapping is just going to be us like just jizzing. Just jizzing. And then Moira showed up.
And then Emma was like,
it's going to be insane.
Oof. Cannot wait.
Well, should we just talk about the X-Men?
Yeah, speaking of those X books.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I want your X.
So we've got 2 weeks of books to catch up on because we took a little break last week. We've got Wolverine number 14, Sword number 7, and then we'll be talking about X-Men number 2 and Hellions number 14.
I did not read Wolverine.
You fool!
Because Wolverine's always awful.
So, of course, the one Wolverine issue that you skip is Christian and Emma Frost.
What, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
You dummy!
All right, what happened? Bring it down. Set it up for me.
It opens with Logan in Madripoor talking about how dangerous Madripoor is, we know. And we cut to the Marauder, the burnt out Marauder, after somebody, quote unquote, murdered Christian Frost and then set the Marauder afire. Keeping in mind that the Marauder and Christian were carrying those Shi'ar logic diamonds that Emma did not remember ordering at the Hellfire Gala. As we know, the logic diamonds are used to house...
Wait, in the Wolverine, she says, she doesn't... Wait, what?
No. In the Hellfire Gala, she says she doesn't remember ordering the logic.
Oh, she said that then. Okay, all right.
Yes. Christian, not dead, by the way.
Was he just burnt?
Severely contused. No, he was dumped over before the ship was set ablaze. So he is. He was found floating in the Atlantic, concussed and hypothermic, but not dead.
But he was so used to taking those cold boners from Iceman.
Yeah.
That he was used to the... Oh, no, but Iceman's
the hypothermia... Iceman's the bottom.
He was so used to sticking his wiener into the cold bottom of Iceman.
There we go. The hypothermia is from Iceman, not from floating in the ocean, passed out. So Wolverine is able to track down somebody who he believes was involved in the Marauder being set ablaze. And he does find some clues. There's some acid that was burned through the floor. There's like a few signs. So Wolverine is in Madripoor, and he goes to the dude who he knows something about the Marauder. And the guy's like, I don't know nothing about nothing. And Wolverine is like, well, clearly you do. And then all of a sudden, in comes a pair of white boots and a voice that says, of course he's lying. And Logan's like, what's up, Emma? And she's like, let me read this fucker's mind. And he's like, I don't know if you want to get involved. And she's like, no. Not only am I getting involved, I know you think you're here on behalf of X-Force. You're here on behalf of the Hellfire Trading Company. That's my brother and my boat. And she has a great line. Whoever did this is my future victim. So long story short about this issue, Emma gets a little bit of information from the guy's head. It leads Wolverine down a path, like very Law and Order, like to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, until he realizes that this Iraqi mutant was involved somehow.
Okay.
So this Iraqi mutant and Wolverine, they kind of tussle a little bit. They fight. They wind up gaining each other's respect. And basically Wolverine is like, okay, so...
What kind of powers does this other mutant have?
He's like really big. He's got super strength. He's got big sharp teeth. I think the acid that burned through the floor was like him, maybe his blood.
Okay.
I got to reread that. And then at the end, basically like, well, Wolverine's like, all right, he's drinking with the guy. And he's like, okay, well, who put you up to whatever your role on this boat was? And the guy's like, Solemn. Solemn did it. I'm working for Solemn.
Now, is that
So
the one that
reintroducing
he battled against in Ten of Swords?
In Ten of Swords, yeah.
Okay.
That kind of like dark reflection
Yes.
of Wolverine.
Who has
Yeah.
the adamantium skin?
Yeah, the one who was like in the threesome that went horribly awry instead of the threesome that fixed everything.
Yes.
So next chapter is Wolverine kind of confronting Solemn and figuring out what Solemn knows and how Solemn was involved in this whole...
Oh, well, I'll go back and read that because I'm like, finally, a Wolverine plotline I can get into.
It's really good. It's like, it feels like a movie almost. It's very tight. It's very...
Is it a different writer?
No, it's still Benjamin Percy.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
All right.
Check it out.
I will. Then we had
And then we also had Sword.
Sword.
Sword 7.
SWORD. Woo!
It's a tie-in to The Last Annihilation.
Yeah, so are we going to have to read all of those?
I'm not.
The thing that is cool is when I was reading the whole thing when Teddy took over, and they did show a future thing where they're like, in the future, you see Abigail Brand like, come with me if you want to live. And then this is the issue.
It happened.
Where that happened. And you're like, oh, this has all been planned. I do love the idea that how all of this is the idea of the mutants taking over Mars is affecting the entire Marvel universe as a whole. I kind of love that.
I do too. There's a ripple effect in the cosmic corner of the Marvel universe. It's being felt. It's not being ignored. Love that Al Ewing, he's basically writing the cosmic corner of the Marvel universe and Sword. So It's all under his pen. It's all under his vision. And what a talented writer he is.
And now especially with the next two things where a part of me is like, okay, we need to do... All right, and I love everybody, and I even kind of love the scenes, but Storm is more than just a grandstand. Like, I feel like all they're showing her is going like, I am Storm, don't threaten me. Like, I feel like
Queen of Soul.
I'm the Queen of Soul. Yeah, can we give her a little more depth here? Like, it's almost like the cartoon character, like, Thunder calls me.
So do you think this issue kind of goes deeper than that, or this issue is guilty of that?
I think they're a little guilty of that. I mean, it's cool.
Oh.
I think it's cool. I think maybe it wasn't, but then she's in whatchamacallit in is it X-Men? No. Hellions. She's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it was when I saw both of them, I'm like, oh, is this all we're using for her? Is her like meeting up with big wigs and being like, don't fuck with me, fellas. This isn't my first rodeo. You know what I mean?
Very Joan Crawford.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Is like, it was cool this first time. And then the second time I'm like, okay. And the third time I see Storm, she better not be doing some more grandstanding or then I'm going to be like fucking pissed.
But listen, like, don't poop all over her dinner with Dr. Doom.
No, it was cool. It was cool. It was cool.
Else.
It was cool.
And that was most of this issue was her and Doom in this conversation. But it really was like a dick contest.
Yeah. And she's like, my dick is bigger.
She's like, my dick is so much bigger and prettier. I did love that she harkened back to when Doom teamed up with Arcade and fought the X-Men, turning Storm into a chrome statue. She was like, oh, you mean like the time you turned me into a chrome statue?
Oh, and then he brought up like, oh, and now you're not just the wife of a king. Like they were doing some like burns. Some, like,
and then she was like, do you really want to go there? Do you really want to talk about marriage? Because I'm hearing your bride-to-be fucked Johnny Storm.
How the fuck did she hear that? You know, Emma Frost came in being like, hey, Aurora, I've been eavesdropping and just to let you know.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, Iceman and Dakin just had a threesome with Johnny Storm. And he told them that he
Another wonderful thing of the Cosmic Corner and the Mutant Corner clashing together is Teddy's take on Wanda being the pretender and the enemy of Krakoa. And Teddy saying to Agent Brand, Billy and I tried to get in touch with her, and it's as if she's gone. And Brand is like, well, ain't that some shit? I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, she's like, nothing. Well, I mean, she's just like, fuck, I can't let them know that the mutants fucking, that everyone thinks the mutants killed its mom. Because I'm like hanging by a thread with all of these alliances. And clearly, I mean, they're going to get in touch with his brother. I mean, the brother's going to call them and tell them. I mean, she can't keep it from them. So that's going to be interesting when all that goes down.
No. She can just be like, I didn't know yet. I didn't lie. I just didn't, I hadn't heard yet.
Yeah.
That's why I said what I said. But also, Agent Brand is playing some dirty poker here. She's intercepting messages to the Avengers.
Yeah. These are things that are going to...
Sword.
Yeah.
Yes.
These things are going to bite her in the ass.
These are going to be the thing. Like, she's very, to give another preview of something we'll be talking about later, she's very Amanda Waller.
Oh my God, you know what? That's perfect. 'Cause especially her in the comics, she's like, and know what it is? It comes down to, she's a micromanager. She doesn't trust anyone else to do anything. She's like, I need to make sure everything runs through me so I can make sure it's okay.
She really is a micromanager, but I can see how not having enough power or access during Carol Danvers' Alpha Flight experiment led her to be like, nope, I need to have my fingers on everything.
Yeah. But my thing in the end is what I still am not 100% sure of. And I think she tried to like talk about this in earlier, but it's like, what's your game? Because she's kind of like, I'm not in this for the mutants. I'm not in this for Earth. I mean, like, but it's kind of like, what are you in this for? Just for you? But then what do you want? Are you looking for power? Like, what is her end game? I'm interested in that. I'm not sure.
It's definitely like political power in this kind of cosmic.
But she's still a good guy. Like, she's not evil. So then it's kind of like, but she's doing all of these evil things. So I'm like, for what? And I think
she's a manipulator.
But is it all just for like peace?
I think it's control.
I think she's like she's one of those things like only I can give peace everywhere. Only I can fix this.
Oh my God, Trump. Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this issue was how delicious the ice cream and cake pops looked that Doom and Storm were enjoying on Mars. They looked so good.
I hate cake pops.
I do too, especially watching someone make them.
Yeah, you're just like, just take a cake and mush it up.
And just take a cake and put your dirty fucking hands through it.
Oh, goodness. I think maybe we should talk about
Hellions because of the Storm connection.
Yes. So we're seeing a little bit more of the Araco Council.
The Great Ring.
The Great Ring. And it seems like all is not well with them. It seems like everyone's kind of on board, like, hey, we got this new world. This is pretty good. So we're gonna keep the peace and chill. And all of these things that Krakoa has set up is good, but someone is not down with it.
Tarn the Uncaring. He's not down with it. He feels that somebody kind of stole some of his data, and he knows that they're in Araco, and so he's like, let it all burn. He's like the Mystique of Araco. He's like, I'm going to get those motherfuckers. I don't know about let it all burn, but he's like, and he really, really is an even darker reflection of Sinister.
Yeah.
In that he's the member of the Quiet Council that has his completely own agenda, cannot be trusted. I mean, you can argue Mystique too, but there's a lot of similarities between Tarn and Sinister. Both in the way they play with genetics and...
The only different thing with Sinister compared to Mystique is Sinister, like, even Psylocke and all, they're like, he's doing all these horrible, down and dirty things. He's doing all this stuff. If the council found out, I'm like, bitch, they want... Xavier Magneto want him to do all of this.
Yes.
They brought him in because they want him. Because in this one, later on, he says the word, what is it? How do you say it? Chimera?
I always say chimera.
Chimera. As soon as he said that, it's like, yep, that's exactly what they want. This is what they want.
Chills. I got chills that we finally, okay, here they are. Like, we are starting the chimera. I also say chimera.
I was about to say you just said it a different way than
I just changed it. Some fun things on this Great Ring. So first of all, love the reveal that Storm sits not only on the Quiet Council, but also the Great Ring. Mm-hmm. Also Araco's government. I also love that she's like, Tarn, if you pull any shit, we're going to fuck you up. And he's like, I'm going to pull some shit. And she's like, he's not listening to me. Will someone else say something? Because I'm about to fuck him up.
Well, here's the thing that's interesting is next to him is a girl. And I don't know if she's ever been introduced before. But
she has. She was in Ten of Swords.
But she's a seer. What would she do in Ten of Swords?
They mention her or something. She has a minor role in something before. They've mentioned her.
But she hasn't actually done... Because also they're saying that she's no longer talking.
They also imply that Tarn took her vocal cords.
Oh, is that why she's not talking?
That's the implication. Or that's what I inferred.
Well, here's the interesting thing is... If they found out that there is a seer on...
Hello?
I want to know what Moira thinks of that. I feel like that's not an accident. There's no way that Hickman set up a seer showing up in Araco. Mm-mm.
And Moira must have known about this seer before, if like during her apocalypse life.
Exactly. The other thing, I would love to see a scene where she's meeting up with her, being like, you shut the fuck up. I also kind of want to see, like, what would happen if another young mutant shows up that has prognostication type powers? Like, what would they do? Would they silence them? Would they try to turn them off? Because I want to see kind of that down and dirty stuff that they're doing.
That nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're about to in Inferno. All that shit's going to come out.
I know. I can't wait.
So the bulk of this issue, though, is Hellions versus Tarn the Uncaring's crew. Round 2. And this time, the Hellions kind of come out on top.
Well, this is because we're finding out what it is that when you died on Araco and then came back, the body was trained and remembers the death. And so that their bodies were trained to overcome and they were prepared for that battle, which I find fascinating.
Fascinating. So Nanny, Wild Child, and Orphan Maker kill 3 of what are their names? The Uncaring.
Yeah, and the best is like Empath, Grey Crow, Psylocke, and Havoc are like, what the fuck's going on? Because they're just like, wait, there's two Sinisters. Wait, you've been lying. Oh, wait, they're fucking killing everybody. Like, they're kind of just sitting there like, what the fuck is happening?
Just in disbelief. Except Empath, who is like has a semi.
Yeah, he's kind of like, this is hot.
So gross. So gross. So this is actually coming off an issue you and I never talked about. Which is a focus on the two Sinisters battling. The return of the Sinister that was supposed to die.
Yeah.
Coming back and bringing the Uncaring with him. And then these two Sinisters who were battling all through last issue will ultimately come together at the end of this one because Sinister Prime, as I'll call him, has revealed to the other one he has created the Chimera.
I also love that Tarn, I'm still confused of exactly what his powers are.
He's very all-powerful.
But do you think it's like, I feel like his mutant power is that he can control all DNA, maybe?
Yeah.
And I think in a weird way that makes him also the ability to read minds and do, like, I feel like he has just... He literally can just tap into any DNA circuitry of like human organic matter.
Sure.
Because he was able to take Wild Child and just pull out the change in him and turned him back to normal.
He reverted him. Yeah.
One of my favorite things is then he also reveals that Sinister murdered all of them.
Yes.
And then he's like, don't believe what he says. He's like, don't believe the fucking memories in your goddamn head. The
dynamic between the two Sinisters.
The writing on this is so fucking good. It's so fucking funny. They peer off, and then in the end they also leave, and it kind of looks like it just ends with like Psylocke, Havoc, and them like just like, what the fuck?
They're basically stuck with Tarn.
Yeah.
The two Sinisters escape, leaving the Hellions on Bar Sinister with Tarn and the two remaining Uncaring.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, what is he going to do to them? He also knows like they didn't do anything. It's Sinister. So it's like, is there a reason to kill any of them? There isn't. Or is he going to change them? Is he going to do something to them?
Yeah, like, but is he going to befriend them?
Yeah.
You know, if Storm is like, stop fucking with people, is Tarn going to be like, okay, well, she said stop fucking with people, so instead what we're going to do is like have an orgy. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Dance party.
So good. So good.
Continues to be so good. Other thing I loved is Scalp Hunter saying to Empath, you pretty much sacrificed yourself to save our lives. And Empath was like, ew, no, I didn't. I would never do anything like that. Fuck off. Shut up.
Oh. The problem I have now with the X-Men world is these characters are being written so well, but there's still just not enough time in the day. Like, I want this comic to come out every day. I want more. There's so much you can dig into.
Story,
I want more Empath.
Tell.
I want more. That's the thing is when it's this good, I just want so much more.
I know. It's unfair. Too much of a good thing.
But speaking of too much of a good thing, let's talk about X-Men #2.
This book is the best of everything.
Yeah.
It is the best of writing. It is the best of characters.
It's the best of battles, of fights,
color, of action. Like, it is a quintessential quality comic.
These action scenes, I will say this, I don't think any X-Men book before has really thought out how the X-Men should be fighting as a team as this book has.
Do you know what it reminds me of? And this is silly. It reminds me of the end of Bryan Singer's first X-Men, where they are all trapped inside the head of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And they work together to get out.
Yeah.
Like, Jean floats Scott's visor and like tilts it so that it blows Storm's things off. Like, I was like, it's that.
Yes.
It's them always relying on the power of friendship.
But even the things where it's just like, wait, I have an idea. I need Polaris. And then, no, like, and Sync's like, I'll come with you. And she's like, no, you might need to use Sunfire's powers too. So you stay here and Polaris come with me. Like, they're constantly in this, like, thing of using each other's powers to help each other. It's just fascinating. And it was like, oh, yes. This is what it's supposed to be.
It's the ultimate, like, we're in this together.
And I think everyone just used the X-Men where it was always like, no, people just want to see Wolverine running up and slashing somebody and one-on-one fights, and you fight this person, and then you fight this person. It's like, that's not how it would really work. This is how it would really fucking work. They're fucking X-Men Voltron.
Yeah. The other thing that works so much about this book is this villain, Cordyceps Jones, who, by the way, is mentioned... in Guardians of the Galaxy Annual that focuses on Hercules. Cordyceps Jones is mentioned in that too. This like weird casino that he's running where they're just throwing villain after villain at the X-Men.
Yeah.
What a great, simple concept. Of like, all right, everybody, roll the dice. The next villain is...
and they're in a black hole, so time is moving faster.
Right, so they can just keep doing it.
Yeah. The one thing... That must be weird, though. It's like, hey, honey, I'm just going to go gamble for a night, but I'll be back in like 6 months.
6 months. But it's just
but then also, there's another villain that they're setting up for the long game of the guy that wanted to conquer Mars that missed out, and he's a fucking creeper.
He's a creeper. So we've got these like fun throwaway villains while like the real main threat.
Except how do you show someone's evil? Have them murder a child.
That's it.
Let's murder a nice woman and child. Okay, you're a bad guy.
But I love that the villain of the week that is thrown at them this time is the fucking Annihilation Wave.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
Nope. Well, it is, but it is a joke because they fucking beat it willy-nilly, no problem.
Because they're so good. And they have Sunfire, who was like, poof.
And I didn't realize that's what Sunfire's powers were kind of based on.
Me neither. Very havoc-y.
Yeah. The other thing that I find interesting is that Sync is training with each of the X-Men, it seems, to really learn how to use their powers at their fullest potential.
Yeah.
I have a question. How different is Sync's powers from Hope Summers?
I wouldn't think too different.
Is he the Hope replacement for the Five?
He could be. He very much could be.
I think he is.
Yeah, absolutely. I also love that he is kind of the audience character, the Kitty Pryde. You know, like we're seeing a lot of this through Sync's eyes.
Yeah, and
we're here for his journey. And
I love that Jean Grey is just kind of like talking to him about like he's like admitting to her like I want to tell Laura like what we went through. I
want to show her.
Hundreds
I just
of
want
years.
to download
it.
And if she asks, and Jean is like, if she does ask, you can have my power, and you can do that. But what is the Sync line that I really love?
What?
No doubt. Emma said I would learn a lot from you.
Oh, yeah,
she was right.
Yeah.
Because you're reminded that Sync's mama is Emma Frost.
Yeah.
And that Emma Frost loves Everett Thomas more than most people on this planet.
Yeah. What was there?
She murdered her own sister.
Was it to save him?
Death.
Oh, because it was over his... That's right, it was his death.
Revenge for murdering him.
Right. That's right, it was him. Yes.
It was him.
Shit. And you know it's dark if she's giving Jean Grey... Like, you know it's love if you're giving Jean Grey a compliment.
Oh, yeah. But Emma's right.
But you know, she's like, you'll learn a lot. She'll be bloody showing off, little cunt. You'll learn a lot.
And then really in this Annihilation Wave battle, we just see the combination of powers happen over and over. From Jean and Polaris hitting them all with giant logs to Rogue and Cyclops turning the logs into splinters and shooting.
Oh, that was great too.
The monsters. That was fantastic. The whole thing with Polaris passing her force field to Sync to control. Amazing.
And then the biggest is making a magnetic MRI for her to piece together dying memories.
Oh,
what?
Incredible. What potential.
And just the fact that Jean Grey was like, oh, I just realized I can do this. She's so fucking powerful.
Jean even learning how to do things.
Yeah, but that's how fucking powerful she is. I think that's the other thing is I think she's like so kind of like loving and caring and motherly. Like Storm is like, don't fuck with me, I have tons of power. Emma Frost, don't fuck with me, I have tons of power. Jean's kind of like, la 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 la, but you know she's more powerful than... I will say this, they're both Omega. Who do you think is more powerful, Jean Grey or Aurora Monroe?
I mean, like, you can't, like...
They're such different powers.
They're such different powers, but, like, there's little... Like, Storm has got that willpower. It's very difficult for a psychic to do anything to Storm. If there was a psychic that can just shut down
Wait
Storm's
a minute.
brain,
Okay.
it is Jean.
Can I... This remind me back. Picture it. 13 years old.
Sicily.
Me, 13 years old. My best friend at the time, his name was Peter. We would play. He's the one that got me into reading X-Men, and this is right when Outback was happening.
Sure.
And of course, he was like, Storm, Storm, Storm. He was a little faggot too. Storm, Storm, Storm. It is all about Storm. And I was like, Psylocke, Psylocke, Psylocke. And then we would get into these fights of who was more powerful. And of course, me thinking back, I'm like, yes, Storm's more powerful. But back then I was like, no, Psylocke is more powerful. And then he's like, no, in the nanny issue, Storm breaks the butterfly effect that Psylocke had on her. But then I was like, no, but Psylocke was reduced to a little kid, so it doesn't count. And I remember us like having this huge fight over that issue of who was really more powerful.
Did you touch each other's butts?
Oh, no. We actually ended up becoming mortal enemies.
Peter!
In high school, when we both got to high school, we were both like beat up for being gay. And where I just became a goth, depressed kid, he changed his voice and then started talking like this and joined the track team and then decided to make fun of me. And then he became my main bully.
Oh my God. I feel like he became like Elizabeth Holmes with her fake deep voice from Theranos.
Yeah.
Ew, he Elizabeth Holmes. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I will say that is the weird thing. When gay guys try to talk straight, a lot of them end up just sounding like gayer. I remember when I was like, they were like, talk straight, and then you're like, hello. Hello. How are you? You just sound like a drag queen.
You sound like a drag queen. Oh, God. Listen, back to this issue. The other thing I love is Sunfire saving everybody and all the Kansas people being like, hey, thanks so much, buddy. And he's like, you know what? I used to be so mean. Can I just have 5 minutes to tell you my origin story? Random strangers from Kansas.
That was so funny. And then they're all like, yeah, okay, you want some barbecue?
Okay, you want some barbecue? He's like,
what is it?
He's like, I'm a good person now. You want barbecue? No, gee.
What is his backstory of why he was mean?
He's just mean. We never got to it.
Well, they were showing kind of like him growing up and things. I'm like, has that been explored before? Or is this just a new thing that people are...
I think we're gonna invent some new backstory.
Okay,
for Sunfire.
I didn't know if because I don't remember Sunfire being in anything long enough that we got really backstories of it.
Yeah,
but I was waiting for them to be like, "You made Corona," like because it was Kansas people. I was waiting for them to say something racist.
Oh, they're so nice, and also Jean is very touchy-feely with Sunfire. To the point where, like, Scott's, like, holding a bunch of something. He's holding something, and Scott's looking at Jean kind of, like, with her arm in Sunfire's arm. I'm like, is this our next threesome?
Yeah, foursome.
Foursome.
She's like, I already implanted the thought in his head of me, what I look like naked, while you're entering me, Scott. He'll be coming knocking on the moon door any day now.
So let me ask you this. This scene at the end, Dr. Stasis, that is not the Mars guy, right? This is another Orcus person?
Oh, I thought that was the Mars guy.
I'm not sure, because, like, these half-beast creatures...
Well, it had that helmet in the front, and for some reason I thought that was the other guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But maybe it's not.
Clear.
Okay. I don't know.
I think this is a different person
Jesus
because then
Christ.
he writes the Orcus memo at the end, and it's not about being on Mars and stuff. It's about like the old Orcus.
Oh, I guess. But is the Mars guy part of Orcus?
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, Jesus, that's another person?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fucking
no.
creeper.
There's a lot of threats. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. More things to keep track of.
Okay. So we have pretty soon. We're gonna have Children of the Atom ending.
Thank God.
Next week. Thank God. We're still a ways. My point is, we're still a ways away from the trial of Magneto, and I'm like, can we hurry up?
Does the trial of Magneto happen the same time as Inferno?
I don't know. Hurry up.
Well, we know what we don't have to hurry up for anymore. The release
What?
of Suicide Squad.
That's right. The Suicide Squad.
Squad.
The Suicide Squad. Yes. Why don't we talk about it? We both saw it.
That's right. Hit it. Someone who watch superhero sci-fi stuff with me. The Suicide Squad. I love that rather than calling Suicide Squad 2, it is called The Suicide Squad. Because in a way it is saying,
if-
this is The Suicide Squad,
This is the actual
and you
movie.
don't have to watch the first one. All right, let's give our quick 1, 2, 3, whether we loved it or
All
hated
right.
it. 1, 2, 3. Loved it. I mean,
Loved it so hard.
I'm going to say something kind of crazy. I think this is better than the Guardians of the Galaxies.
In some ways.
I mean,
In some ways it
for
is.
James Gunn's movies, I think this beats out his Guardians of the Galaxy movie. If we're talking
Certainly
about
Volume
yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was so fun. I will say this. This was perhaps one of the best opening sequences of a superhero film ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I screamed and laughed with joy when the title The Suicide Squad came up.
Yeah.
Considering everything that the 10 minutes that had happened before
Yeah.
it was hilarious and engrossing. It was so good.
And if you all remember, God, at this point, it's like a year and a half ago, I was on the New Rockstars Rogue Theories about this episode, giving my theories of what was really the plot of it.
Yeah.
And my thing is I said that Pete Davidson was playing himself and that they were going to rescue him, but he dies immediately. Because my whole point of that is that I wanted him to die immediately. And my wish, even though I was wrong how, my wish was fucking
true.
granted, and I was very happy.
Needless to say, heavy spoilers in this one. The opening where we pretty much have an X-Force from Deadpool 2 opening where you are introduced to who you think is the Suicide Squad, but they all die.
Yeah. Except for the two main characters that were in the first one.
Except for the two main characters. Then it's revealed that Amanda Waller set them up to be the distraction, the decoys, so the real Suicide Squad, who then the movie is about, can get to their mission safely.
Now, was Will Smith supposed to be in this? Was Idris Elba's part supposed to be Will Smith?
I'm not sure, but Will Smith played Deadshot. Idris played Bloodsport.
Yes, but I'm just wondering, do you think it was originally written as Deadshot?
Yeah, I wondered that too. Potentially, yeah. But after the first one. I mean, but also, I think they just really wanted to wash the first one away as much as they could. Like, you needed Waller, you needed Flag, you needed Harley.
Well, I know. I think Will Smith was asked to be in it and didn't want it.
Maybe.
Which I think he watches this movie and he's like, oh, I done fucked up.
God damn it. But thank goodness, because thoroughly enjoyed seeing a movie with Idris Elba in the lead.
So hot.
God, he's so hot and so great. He's so great.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's part of the reason this movie is so good.
But can I tell you this?
He's so good.
There's not a single... There's kind of like scene stealers. Everyone is stealing the show. Everyone.
They're all... The characters, each and every one of them, are fantastic.
I mean, even the beginning Weasel, when they're doing the slow walk, and this Weasel is like... I was like laughing hysterically. It's so fucking good.
Weasel drowning immediately and everyone going, did anyone check to see if Weasel can swim?
So
He can't.
great. And then setting up, what's his name? Jean-Ju. What's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yondu.
Yondu.
Yeah. Setting him up as a main character.
And then him dying this like pathetic,
horrible, scared shitless death. And then by blowing his head up and then his brains and blood forming the words Warner Brothers Pictures presents.
Yeah, it's so great.
And then to introducing that conceit of the environment in each scene also serving as a caption for a moment.
So great.
So great.
There's something very like it's the idea of trying to, and it's like a lot of people hate, and I don't hate it as much as other people do, but a lot of people hate Ang Lee's Hulk.
Sure.
Because, and in it, I could see he was trying to be like, it's a comic book. So I wanted to make it that panel thing. And it's like, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do that. Like, it was fun and campy and pulpy. And it's one of those things where you're just like, fuck, some people just, you put it in the hands of some people and you just like, go. There's no way this can go wrong. There's no way that this can go wrong. Yeah.
And James Gunn gets it. I mean, gets it so hard. But he also gets good characterization and good relationships and characters you care about.
The only thing, though, is at a certain point, I just kept picturing, and now they die.
Oh, you knew that.
Because there were so many setups, not even the beginning, but just at every point, there were so many setups of as soon as something heartfelt was said, it was immediately followed by that person dying.
Here it comes. Yep. Like at the end when Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, exactly. I knew it. I was like, and
the second he's like, I'm a fucking superhero. I'm like, here it comes.
Bye. Yeah. Polka Dot Man was amazing. The whole mother, where everything he only saw his mother.
Was his mother. Seeing, and I mean, again, like another reason this movie is so good. My favorite DC villain of all time, Starro the Conqueror, being the big Act 3 menace. Yeah. Amazing. And pulled off so well. But to see the giant Starro the Conqueror, the big Godzilla starfish, as a giant mother who he just had to kill.
So funny. I didn't realize the Invincible ripped that off. Like that, or not ripped off, but it was like their whole Mars thing is that type of alien.
Yeah.
Because I was like, are they copying Invincible? And Joe was telling me like, no, dummy. Invincible is copying off of DC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my favorite Starro the Conqueror story of all time was Grant Morrison's JLA. What an amazing Starro the Conqueror story. Very much centered on the little starfish wrapped around everyone's heads. Yeah. And it's in that story, it's a little kid's belief in Superman that winds up saving the day. It's fantastic. But Polka Dot Man's great. Ratcatcher 2, maybe my favorite character in the movie.
She's amazing.
She's so incredible.
But then the dick contest between Peacemaker and Bloodsport, when they were just like, who can kill people the most, like,
because they're essentially the same character.
The way they kept, there was like, we have the same powers, like, but it's the way they were killing everybody. Like there was like, and I don't like super violence, but it was a humor to it.
It was so over the top that it was hilarious.
Like when he just like, that guy was sleeping and he just stabs him as he's like walking.
Like stab.
And normally that would be traumatizing to me, but I'm just like laughing how he just shoots the radio in the guy's bathtub. Oh, and then it turns out, but I even pictured it too. It was like, oh God, he's not tied up, is he? And then it opens up and like they're trying to rescue him and they're all good guys that they murdered.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. Hilarious. Or Harley Quinn, we're having sex with the president.
Yeah. And Harley Quinn's like murder scene where she kills hundreds of guys, but instead of blood, it's flowers.
I wanted all of it. I was like, can the rest of us just be like this?
It made it so easy, so enjoyable instead of kind of painful to watch.
Yeah.
Speaking of dick contests, though, how about the shot of John Cena's dick? The close-up of his dick hanging out to the side of his underwear. Not hanging out of his underwear, but just hanging out in his underwear. Oh, that scene where it was just John Cena in his tighty-whities. I'm going to buy
There was also an actual full-on dick, too. One of the murders...
Oh, yeah.
One of the murders, the guy just with his fucking dick hanging out. He's killed.
It had everything. It had humor, action.
And I think because of that, I didn't mind. Because there was like all the dicks, I feel like because they did the dick thing, they were able to do the ridiculous busty secretary.
Yes.
I don't know why. I'm like, where their tits hang, where she's like, oh my goodness, security. And I'm like, why? But for some reason, I was just laughing hysterically.
It was so... Everything was couched in such humor that protected it and made everything okay.
Yeah, it was just so good. And there was a part, too, where I love that it's one of those where what's her name? Rat Catcher?
Rat Catcher, yeah.
When she was giving her origin story, and then Idris was like, I'm going to get you out of here. And I said, that either means she's going to die or they're going to be the only two left at the end.
Right.
And I was pretty close to my second one.
Yeah.
Of that. Although...
And how about the cameo of who played Ratcatcher 1, her father?
Taika Waititi.
Oh, amazing.
And although I was very surprised, I remember there's spoilers here, that Flag was murdered.
Very surprised Flag dies. And also, God, Joel Kinnaman is so hot.
There was a part...
So hot.
There's a part where John Cena, him, and Idris Elba were like walking in slow motion.
Yes.
And I was like watching it with some gay people. And I'm like, who?
Which one?
And people were like, ugh. Everyone had a different one. It was just like, I mean, any of them. It could be any.
Any of
Even John Cena with his douchiness, he's still fucking hot as fuck.
He's so hot. Oh, yeah.
And also, can we just give appreciation? Ever since the Sarah Silverman show, I've loved Steve Agee. He was then in Superstore. He's like the big, tall, ginger, bearded guy.
Yeah. Yes.
Who's
so
like
funny.
That's the thing is all of this is leading up to the new TV show on HBO Max.
Right. Where the final credit scene, the stinger, is them recruiting Peacemaker, who's basically comatose from injuries by the end of the movie. It's going to be his show, right? It's going to be a Peacemaker show with Amanda Waller's crew. Yeah,
Steve Agee and that blonde girl are the other two stars.
Yeah. And
the poster, it's a cartoon drawing of Peacemaker's head with that helmet, and it just says, "Oh fuck, it's Peacemaker." And it says like coming to HBO Max.
It feels like it's going to be like the Boys kind of.
Oh, of course. But I mean, at this point we have,
which is great.
But if you look at in the TV show universe, I'm curious of like, is this universe, are the Titans and are the Doom Patrol going to be in the Peacemaker TV universe? I'm curious. I think I'd want some crossovers.
Wouldn't they be in the Suicide Squad universe then?
No, because they haven't been arrested. Suicide Squad are just the ones that are in jail.
No, I'm saying wouldn't they be in the universe as the movie though?
Well, how do we know they're not?
Yeah, sure.
I think I want them to be. Because coming next week is the Titans season 3.
And I'm hearing great things. There are a lot of people on Twitter who've seen it, who've seen screeners, who are like, Titans fans, you are in for a treat.
And the first 2 seasons were good. So, I mean, if it's even better, that sounds great.
I can't wait.
I will say, I hope they have like a recap thing, because I don't want to rewatch them, but it's been 2 years almost. So I need a refresher.
They should do what Disney Plus does with those characters before their show.
Yes,
like, hey, here's 7 minutes of everything they did in the movies.
Yeah.
Do that. But yeah, the Suicide Squad, I'm going to watch it. It's off HBO Max.
Did you see
September.
it?
I'm going to watch it so many times.
Did you watch it on HBO Max or did you go to the theater?
I did. No, I watched it.
Yeah, I watched it on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I'm kind of avoiding theaters at the moment.
Yeah, it's wise. Yep.
Till I get my booster.
Gonna get that booster, baby.
Gold. DC.
DC. Who knew? Well, all right, friends. That was episode 190. What'd you think? Let us know.
Oh, can I end it with something very sweet?
Yeah. You just made up with Peter.
No, he finally came out in his 20s. I saw him at a gay bar in Baltimore. And I just was like, oh. And he looked at me and rolled his eyes and turned away.
Oh, fuck him.
And I'm like, oh, hell no. Yeah, fuck him. Anyway, I got the sweetest message from somebody. I'm not going to give their name, but I'm just going to read the message. So this is from a fan of the show. Just messaged you because I want to thank you. You and Brett have literally saved my life in the past few weeks. For the past month, I've been on leave from work because I've been struggling with my mental health, the worst depression I've ever experienced. And in that month, while I've spent every day setting up and rebuilding my life, I've listened to every episode of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. You guys are literally the best. Don't ever stop. I have loved the X-Men since I was 10 and have loved Dick since the 8th grade. So you guys tick my main 2 boxes. You often joke about your 2 or 3 listeners, but please round it up to 4 or 3 if that other one dropped off. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. This is such, isn't that just so sweet?
That's so touching. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. That really makes our day. And
that really does.
And it just makes it feel like we're not, talking into a void.
we got a message from somebody who is a truck driver, much like my husband. He's over the road, and he says that what gets him through his 12 hours of driving at a time is going through our whole
going through all the old ones? That's the thing where I'm like, who would do that? But I guess people do.
Yeah. I mean, we were okay. Like episode 1, 2, 3. I know you and I think we were garbage and didn't know what we were doing, but we were listenable, I think.
Yeah. No, we were funny.
Sure.
We're funny.
I think we're funny. I don't know.
Because that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, we not only give you in-depth coverage and and we know our shit. We also are funny, which, I love all the other podcasts out there, but none of them are as funny as ours.
Okay, girl, this took a turn.
I'm not dishing any of the other podcasts that they're bad, but we're the funny one.
We're the funny one.
We're the funny one.
No, that is incredible to hear, that to have a positive effect on somebody's mental health. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
So thank you, everybody. And tell others to listen to our comics. And also reach out to us. Send us messages. Tell us stuff to read because we'll read it. And send us messages and we might read it out loud on the show like we just did. All right, everyone. Go watch The Suicide Squad again. And again. And again. We need Inferno to happen now. Yeah, I got blue balls, man. Come on, man. What are we going to do about these blue balls? I guess I'm just going to read some comics. Oh, okay. But what happens when you read comics, Brett? Well, I happen to know this, EvilJeff. Oh, you do? Yes, I do. When you read comics, well, that makes you queer. So that's what happens. Oh, shit. I'm queer. Mm-hmm. Bye. Bye.